Yeah?
I do have one of your albums.
Well, that's okay.
It's me again, Frank.
All right.
I'm not a journalist.
No?
No.
Where are you then?
No, they invited me to do an interview with you, because I think I know most of your music. So.
Sitter ved siden av.
Det er køsen av våre, den og den grå.
I don't know how much time do you have.
Vi har 20 minutter.
Well, probably about 15 minutes because we got to get 3 of these.
Vi har noen, så bare litt nærmere.
A bit nervous. Shush this. Okay.
Begge to? De to?
Sorry, I didn't play Each Out Question yesterday.
Oh, we've done it at some of the other
Yeah,
concerts.
that's so. I like that too. I'm going to talk about, I know most of the questions. I know what you answer to the most of the questions, but this is for youth station.
Okay.
So
We have to talk youth talk, right?
no, not really.
Yeah.
Hardcore, to hardcore crowds too.
Okay.
Yeah. Clap? Okay, first I just want to congratulate you as a Grammy Prize winner for the Jazz from Hell album.
Yeah.
And,
It means so much to me, you know that?
But do you think that will have any influence in your further work with Synclavier?
No.
No. You're releasing much music these days. You can't do that on stage anymore. Volume 1, a new guitar record. I believe there will be a new Synclavier album coming out soon, Red on Canvas.
Blood on the Canvas is not a Synclavier album.
Not a
And it is not coming out.
And it's not coming out. No. How many you can't do that on stage releases will it be?
6 double CDs.
And it's all live material?
All live, no overdubs, all different bands, covering
and
back to 1968.
What about Opus 5? You look like a dork. Brown clouds, little dots.
Okay, I have one recording of Little Dots, and it is not a very good quality recording. Performance is good, but the quality of the tape is not too good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little bit reluctant to release that. Brown Clouds is part of Gregory Peccary.
Mm-hmm.
Opus 5 is included in one of the mystery discs, I believe.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
You look like a dork.
You Look Like a Dork.
Yeah.
There is a good tape of that, but I can't figure out which album it would be best to put in. It's a studio recording.
You have been in the music business now for 23 years. During that time you have been into nearly all kinds of music, making films, and tried to make your own TV station, and what happened to that?
People were just too afraid of what would happen if I had my own TV station. I couldn't get anybody to finance it.
Yeah, I think so. More recently, you have started up your own video company called Home Your Home Video.
Yeah.
And can you tell us more about what's coming out?
Well, it's hard to talk about it because they don't have a European distributor for it yet. So if I, tell you what was in there and you couldn't get it, then you'd be sad. But there are 6 shows, and
it's a package.
no, it's not, they're sold individually. There's 2 feature-length movies: Baby Snakes and Uncle Meat. There's
Burnt Winter Sandwich.
no, that's not in there.
No.
There is a 1-hour show called Video from Hell. There's a documentary called The True Story of 200 Motels. There's a 1-hour clay animation show called The Amazing Mr. Bickford, and there's a half-hour show called Bunny Bunny Bunny.
So we won't be seeing the tapes that we made at the Roxy Theatre in December 1973.
Actually, there is a piece of that included in The True Story of 200 Motels. But all of that has, all the Roxy has been transferred to videotape, and one day I'll put together a Roxy concert.
Good, good. Could you tell us what the Parents Music Resource Center is, and isn't it led by Tip Gore, who is the wife of the Democratic presidential candidate Albert Gore?
Well, Albert just dropped out,
Yes.
and she was one of the ladies who is running it. The other lady who is running it is the wife of the Secretary of Treasury, James Baker. Her name was Susan Baker. And this is a group of ladies in Washington, D.C. who set out to, I say, censor rock music. They claim not, but I think that that's really what they wanted to do.
Despite of all the so-called dirty words that are so dangerous to the children, do you think one of the reasons was that you now are more politically active? I mean, I'm referring to the George Mason, where you're not allowed to perform. And
probably has something to do with it.
You're now tour with an 11-piece band. How do you compare this band with the similar bands you had before? I mean, the number in it, and I'm referring to the 73 band, the bands you had in 77 and 79.
I would say this is probably one of the best bands that I've had out, if not the best band.
I think so. How did you pick a band for this tour?
Well, it's a combination of guys that I've worked with for a long time, like Ike, who's been in the band for 10 years, and Chad for 8 or 9, and Scott 8 or 9, Bobby for 7, Ed for 8, I think, plus adding the horn section.
Yeah, you add the horn section. What happened to Ray White? He was in the band when he first started the rehearsals, wasn't he?
He came to one rehearsal, and then he got a phone call that someone had broken into his house in San Francisco. So he left, and he went to San Francisco, and we never heard from him again. We could not find him.
Steve Vai was on stage on the U.S. tour at one occasion.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Sting, was he on stage? Yeah. And which tune did you do with him? Was it any Beatles parodies or?
No, we did an Oliver Nelson song called "Stolen Moments," and after we played the melody, and then there was a trumpet solo, we brought Sting out, and what he did was he explained to the audience, you know, this whole business about Jimmy Swaggart, the television evangelist with the pornography. He saw us do some material about Jimmy Swaggart, and so he came on stage and he said that 4 years ago he was attacked by Jimmy Swaggart, who claimed that one of his songs, Murder by Numbers, was written by the devil. So he performed Murder by Numbers with us.
Do you record all the concerts on this tour?
Well, we didn't record last night because the truck was broken, and we're not going to be able to record tomorrow night in Helsinki because the truck is still in Malmo being fixed, but we'll be recording again starting in Stockholm.
Will you do the mixing after European tour, or do you have time and equipment enough to do
It has to be done when the tour is over.
Yeah. You're going to do the rest of the US tour in the autumn or in the summer now?
I don't know definitely that we are going to do the U.S., but if we do, it won't be until late summer or early fall.
Then Halloween.
It would, end right around Halloween.
A while ago we were talking about releasing the material which was recorded in Helsinki, 1974.
That's right.
Yeah. What has happened to that? I mean...
It comes out in the next installment of You Can't Do That on Stage Anymore.
Yeah. You know, we have a fan club here in Norway.
Yes.
Yeah. And it has existed now for 8 years. And what do you think about that?
Well, in a way I'm flattered, and in a way it is like being followed by Interpol.
Yeah, they're driving around and see all the concerts everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Some of them were...
There's only 2 other organizations that have as good follow-up on their suspects. One of them is the Vatican, and the other one is the CIA.
Many people don't realize that you're an anti-drug campaigner. Could you tell us more about it?
Well, let me be real specific. If you want to use drugs, go ahead. But you have to do it in such a way that your actions, when you are chemically impaired, don't hurt somebody else. I think people have the right to do anything they want to their own body, up to and including committing suicide. You know, if you want to murder yourself by inches, go ahead. But you do not have the right to harm other people because you're wasted. So I don't advise people to use drugs. I tell them to stay away, but if you're going to use it, you have a responsibility not to harm other people because you're using it.
Okay, I got no more questions now.
All right.
It has been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm glad you can do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good.
Actually, I've introduced a small concert hall called Bootleg with local bands and stuff. It's going to be